In short order, Littlejohn Coliseum has become one of the premier gymnastic venues in the nation. And tonight, the 24th ranked Clemson Tigers return home for the first time in 3 weeks to welcome a North Carolina team fresh off of its best meet of the season. It is ACC Gymnastics live on ACC Network Extra. Hi everybody, so happy to have you with us on this Friday night as we welcome you into the inaugural Pink Meet here in Littlejohn Coliseum alongside former Auburn gymnast Toy Garcia. My name is John Gross. Toy, it's week 8. NQS rankings begin after this weekend. This is when things really start to matter. 24th ranked Clemson back at home for the first time in 3 weeks. A strong start through 2 rotations. They lead North Carolina 9-8-4-5 to 9-8-3 midway through. So it is the inaugural season of Clemson Gymnastics, and you look here at the timeline. It was back on June 17th, 2021 that then Clemson Athletic Director Dan Radakovich announced the addition of gymnastics as a sport at Clemson. And since then, Toy, it has been remarkable the amount of buzz and energy that this program has created in the gymnastics community.
That's right, John. We were here, you and I, for the very first home meet ever for Clemson Gymnastics. And now weeks later, the energy and the crowd participation has really remained the same. So you can tell that this community is just thrilled to have this program up and running.
Friday nights, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement here in Clemson, South Carolina. And that really goes across the board in the ACC since it is the first year that gymnastics is back. It's something that we talked to Dana Durante about earlier in the week, just about the first season competing in this conference. And she said, listen, there's a fun vibe. The athletes' peers, the fans, the community, the athletic department, they understand what the ACC is. Previously, North Carolina, a member of Eagle Conference, now in the ACC. There is more awareness, more publicity, and more excitement surrounding these meets. So we move on to rotation 3. It is Lily Lippett who leads things off for Clemson. Freshman, the first high school signee in program history and a 3-time member of the USA national team.
Front aerial to a splashdown. Certain elements are required from each gymnast on every event, of course. Beam. Switch leg leap, completing a 180 requirement. Double acro series like she did, that front aerial to a splashdown requirement. Single skill, also a requirement. That side aerial will serve as that. Full turn here, also a requirement. Much harder than it looks, I will say. Last go left for her should be the dismount. Judges are looking for a stuck landing. And she gives them just that. Solid performance for Clemson as the leader of this lineup. Take another look at her double acro front aerial to an immediate splash down to the beam. And gives them that stuck landing that they are looking for.
So Lippett leads the way for Clemson's what has been statistically the Tigers' worst event of the season on beam. Now over to floor. Amy Wozniak coming off of a career-high 9.825 last week against Pittsburgh.
Floor was always my favorite event to compete as a gymnast. Really allows you to show off personality and certain strengths. First pass here. So go back to an immediate double tuck. Nice connection there. That'll serve as her double acro, a requirement for each gymnast on this event. Just like beam, the judges are looking for leaps to finish out 180 degrees. Looking for showmanship, execution on this event. Second pass. Double pike. Does take that step out of bounds. That'll be a couple tenths deduction. You can see she does have a 4-inch mat on the floor. That's allowed for these athletes without any deductions. Finishes nicely.
So Amy Wozniak in the leadoff role in this lineup for North Carolina. Enter the floor lineup midway through last season, has been a consistent starter this season.
We'll check out this first pass again. Oh, whoop back to a double tuck immediately. Second and last pass, a double pike. You can see she takes a pretty large step out of bounds there.
So back to beam, it is Bree Clark. One of those 6 Utah State transfers, the Alabama native, a former All-American back as an Aggie at Utah State.
Wow, love to see that. Sustaining front tuck to an immediate straddle jump, so hard to do. If you do see front tucks anymore on balance beam in NCAA gymnastics, they're coming out of a running start. So she did it standing with no momentum before, very hard to do. Love when gymnasts take risks on events. They are usually rewarded for that. Nice 180 splits there. And the dismount here. It's a front layout off the end of the beam and sticks that landing. Front full off the end of the beam, sticks that landing, no problem. Blind landing at that. Hard to do, did it well.
A lot of stuck landings today for both these teams, especially Clemson. It is Bree Clark, the second go for Clemson on that last go. Here's Taylor Scholes on floor. Her first appearance of the day, coming off of a career-high 9.875 against Pitt. Somebody who prior to this year, the junior from Texas, hadn't competed on floor since her sophomore year in high school, but was asked to be in this lineup, and she has thrived this season.
First pass, front layout to an immediate 1.5 twist. That will serve as her double acro, 2 skills back to back. Taking a dance break here, showcasing those 180 leaps and split jumps.
Floor update, Amy Wozniak, a 9.625 in the leadoff spot for North Carolina.
Last pass, she sure did fight for that. 1.5 to an immediate front layout. That's what we're looking for, though, that grit, that fight. This score might count. Finishes strongly.
You mentioned that grit. That is what Dana Durante says she loves about this team, the resilience they've shown, and you saw some of that with Scholes.
First pass there, front layout to a 1.5 twist, handles that with no problem.
Back to beam. Here is Eve Jackson. You see that beam average for Jackson. Another one of those Utah State transfers, one of 6 Utah State gymnasts to transfer over to Clemson prior to last year. Had to, of course, not compete last year. Waiting on the judges. And Eve Jackson comes from a very athletic family. Her dad played football, as did her uncle. And her uncle, a very famous football player at that, one of the best wide receivers that we've seen in the NFL in recent years, Deshaun Jackson. So Eve Jackson, the niece of Deshaun, a standout NFL career after a high-level career at Cal in college. And here she is on beam.
Acro series here. Back handspring step out to layout step out to another layout step out. Triple acro series there. A lot of difficulty behind that. A little bit of a bounce trip there.
Floor update for Taylor Scholes, 9.575. So 2 scores pretty low for North Carolina to start things off on floor.
Having a little bit trouble halfway through this routine. Doesn't look like she completed a leap series, which again is a requirement. She will lose 10th there. The dismount, round off 1.5, small hop in the landing. Definitely interested to see this score here. Like I mentioned, doesn't look like she completed her leap series, so that will be a significant deduction.
Now let's go back to beam. And Toy, what are the judges looking for on this event?
First and foremost, dance and acro skills must meet all requirements there. Connections, which we just saw, didn't look like she got that connection there. And then of course, balance, are looking for you to stay right on top of the beam.
Here was Gwen Fink for North Carolina, the Tar Heels, with a 9.625 and a 9.575 on the first 2 goes on floor. They need a big score here from Fink.
First pass, double pike, no problems there. Gearing up for the second pass here. Two and a half twist. A lot of difficulty in that skill. Third and final pass coming up here. Just need her to stay on her feet. So 1.5 front layout, nice connection. Eases right on out and finishes strongly. Nicely done.
So Fink wraps things up. Eve Jackson a 9.2 for Clemson on beam. Here's a look back at a couple of these passes.
First pass here, double pike, no issues there. That step out into the lunge is okay to do. Gymnast will not get a deduction for that. And last pass, it's her double acro, 1.5 to an immediate front layout.
Here is Rebecca Wells, who has won the beam event title at the last 3 meets. One of her premier events. Here's a look at the scores for Clemson thus far on beam. The Tigers hoping that 9.2 from Jackson is the lowest of the 6.
So Jackson did not fall, but you will notice a significant decrease in that score because she was missing a major element, her leap series. It's important for the rest of the team to kind of pick up the slack here so we can drop that 9.2. Well, so far, strong performance. Back handspring step out to a layout step out. Absolutely solid on this event. No major deductions so far. The dismount, round off, double full, and sticks that landing. That will be a high score for the Tigers.
Well, she's 19th nationally on beam, and we just saw why.
Beautiful 180 there. A little bit of a balance check there. It lands with her chest down just ever so slightly, but only deduction I saw.
Floor update for North Carolina. Gwen Fink a 9.825, a much needed score for North Carolina. Here is Bella Miller, 9.725 last time out against Pitt. This is a gymnast who is a junior, but did not make the lineup in either of her first 2 seasons. Here she is, her 3rd year, and she has become a fairly routine gymnast in these lineups for North Carolina.
Good job there. Front through to a double back. Beautiful leaf series there. Switch ring, very hard to do. Love the facial expressions.
Yes.
Engaging the crowd. That's what the judges are looking for. These gymnasts also to have fun.
Miller was challenged by her coaches after last season. They said, hey, this is what we need to see from you. She said, I can do that. Here she is, fairly routine member of this floor lineup for North Carolina this year.
Double pump.
Clemson in the driver's seat, and we are thrilled to be joined by head coach Amy Smith on this historic night. Coach, so much anticipation for this evening. 8,018 fans in attendance. What has this evening been like for you and the team?
Oh my gosh, that just blew my mind. Wow, 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 wow. This is incredible, but this is Clemson. They come out and they support their athletes, and it's amazing, and we're just so grateful that everybody is here. What an environment.
Coach, what are you impressed with so far?
You know, I feel like we were a little nervy on vault, and then bars, I mean, they knocked it out of the park there, started settling in. I thought beam was solid, and just really excited to close it out on floor and get this crowd going.
Coach, there's a very special guest in attendance, Miss Val, the legendary Valerie Condos-Field, your head coach back at UCLA. What does it mean to have her in attendance tonight?
It's huge. I mean, I'm so grateful and appreciative that she came out to support me here, and obviously she's been just a huge part of my life and mentor, and now I get to call her a friend, and it's really special that she's here.
Awesome. Well, Coach, so much excitement here. Thank you for your time. Best of luck the rest of the way tonight.
Thank you, guys.